Going to start by asking you about personnel, because I don't think we talked about it on Tuesday night. The two lads that went off injured, Matt Butcher and Michael Nottingham, obviously adding to your injury list. What's the situation?
Notts was more of a precaution. Matt Butcher was struggling before the game. Such and go. He went for an X-ray the day before. Thankfully, there was nothing broken, but he felt as though he could get through it, and I just think it was just too painful. So he came off. Notts has had this problem before, and we've managed it, so hopefully that'll be the case again this time around.
With these smallish injuries and the games coming every 3 days, is it almost more difficult to manage than one that rules you out for a couple of weeks?
Yeah, sometimes you're just not sure of whether they're going to be fit, but you know, the lads who've stepped in have done really well, and that's all you can ask from a squad. You know, that's why you have a squad. And I think the beauty of it is that we do heavily base our training around games and the pattern of play, so everyone knows everyone else's jobs. So there's no excuse really if someone slots in and doesn't understand the way we're playing. You know, it means they haven't been paying attention in training.
You've added two players in that midfield area as well on deadline day. There's obviously not a lot of time for them to integrate and get used to things, but are they both in contention, and what do the two of them bring?
Two of them bring different things, you know, but both very good footballers, both attacking minded and can create and score goals. And you know, they give us an extra boost if we're going to try and be getting a bigger number of goals from midfield, which I think possibly that's one of the things you could label as that we don't score enough from midfield.
Do you consider both of them in the midfield three, or can they do something for you elsewhere?
I think they can both play elsewhere if called upon, but you know, they've been brought as midfielders, and you know, we've got a lot of games to play in a short space of time now, so you know, it's better to have things at your disposal rather than not.
Obviously,
as we used to get told as children, you can always take your coat off, you can't put it on if you haven't got it with you.
Good wisdom. Adam Phillips has obviously caught the eye at Morecambe. Is that what brought him to your attention? The fact that I think he's double figures for goals in League Two this season already?
Yeah, you know, we had been monitoring him all season, to be honest, like, and seeing how well he developed. So it was just a case of trying to get it sorted for before the window shut.
I saw an assessment on a website of League One clubs' transfer windows, and they were waxing lyrical about your ability to find players in non-league. Is Morgan going to be another one of those? You've been well aware of him for a long time.
Well, you know, as part of the process of signing Dion, we were watching Southport a lot. I've watched Southport a lot, and you know, I live around the corner from the ground, so you know, there's no excuse for me not to go and watch it. If they're playing and I'm not doing anything. And I'd say 90% of the time I've gone to watch Southport, and I must have watched him 12, 15 times the last 2 years. He's been their best player, stand-up player by a mile. It's something that I had debated at the start of the season, whether to go for him. And you know, we brought Matt in, and we thought, well, you know, could we justify bringing him in at that stage? You know, when at that time we had Sam Finley as well, and we were, you know, on the verge of bringing Mo in as well. So we did think about him, and then, you know, I don't think Southport would let him go if they didn't feel as though their season could be curtailed, because he is a main player for them. So the time was probably just right for us.
Is it nice? Perhaps not the right word, but does it make you feel good about being able to do something for a club like that, get a good player in return, and in these uncertain times be able to send a bit of a transfer fee their way? Because a lot of these clubs at National North level are really struggling. Yeah,
and you know, we've got a good relationship with Southport. Obviously it helps, because you know, Liam's a good friend of mine, and you know, an ex-Aki player who never lost actually when he played for Accrington ever, which was a good start. And you know, we've been on the receiving end ourselves, so you know, we know how important it is. But we're not the type of club who take the mickey, you know. And in the past, people did take the mickey out of us because they knew we were desperate, and you know, players got sold for way below the market value, and that was life then, and it's life now.
In terms of the squad, as far as the squad is concerned, how much game time is everybody going to have to get in this run of games that you've got? Because nobody else has got as many games to play as you have.
Yeah, I mean, hindsight would be a great thing. You don't know. You know, people know that I don't like changing teams if we're doing well. and you don't know what's around the corner. You know, I'm sure 3 or 4 weeks ago, Ben didn't envisage playing in the back three. So, you know, things can change. It's how you adapt to it, and how well people take the chances. What I will say is that if you're gonna get your place and you're gonna stay in the place, you've got to be fit to do it, and you've got to keep yourself fit. And sometimes that goes beyond what we do in training, because at this moment in time now, all our focus is on the matches, on keeping players fresh. So people have to do their own work and keep themselves in tip-top condition for when they're called upon. And I always equate it to when Scotty Brown got in when we won the league. Scotty Brown had been out, you know, for a big part of the season. Liam Nolan was doing really well. Scotty kept himself in good enough nick that when he got his chance, he never looked back and he never relinquished it. And that's the kind of mentality you've got to have. You know, when we're doing well, you should be happy, because when I get into a team that's doing well, I can stay in. And that was always my philosophy when I was playing. I was never worried about not playing. If the team were doing well, I wanted the team to do well, because I wanted to play for a team who were doing well. And it's when you're a player who you're trying to break into a squad, it's far easier to go into a squad that's doing well rather than a squad that's struggling. So, you know, we have got a good set of lads in there, and I am starting to go into the bingo cliches now, but we are, and so we have got a good squad in. You know, when they will be used, I don't know, but I'm confident that if I have to use them, they'll be ready.
You're coming this morning after getting the game on the other night. Are you pleasantly surprised that the pitch behind you has not been significantly affected?
Pitch looks well, to be honest, and you know, a lot of people have got to take credit for that. You know, obviously Buzzer, because it is, you know, he does it on a day-to-day basis, but a lot of people have worked hard, and you know, you've seen all hands to the pump on Tuesday, which, you know, you credit to a few of the best of all the staff as well, mucking in. But that's what we're about. You know, we'll do what we can to try and play football here. We always have done. Sometimes it hasn't materialised for us, and there's been a lot of, you feel like wasted effort, but it's not wasted effort. If you try to get something done and it does nothing, at least you've tried. What I will say now is that in the past, water was the big, you know, it was our nemesis here. If it rains during the day, the likelihood it was going to be off. I don't think that's the case now, and I think it's rained really well, and that's down to you know, the money Andy spent on the pitch.
The mental side of it, when the players are in the changing room and the kick-off's delayed and there's some uncertainty, does it show really good mental strength for them to just get on with it and come out when the game is declared on and play and win?
Yeah, we were wondering why they weren't coming out helping us, to be honest. Like one of James, we were wondering why they weren't coming out and helping us. But I suppose that's the modern day football now. They think it's an affront if they've got to go and get a ball, let alone clear snow off the pitch.
I saw some stats yesterday that I've not been down all the way through the leagues, but in the Premier League this season, more than half of the games have been won by the away team. I think there's a theme behind closed doors kind of across the board, yet you've only lost 2 games at home this season in the league. Why is that?
I haven't got a clue. We try and play the same way home and away, to be honest. I think the lack of fans, I wouldn't say because our fans do really well for us here, you know, and they can create a terrific atmosphere. You know, what we lack in numbers, we more than make up for in spirit and volume. And it can be an intimidating place to come when the Clayton ends rocking. So I can't really put my finger on that, but I know that us as a team, we try and play the same home and away. I can't see that in other teams.
Yeah, does that not distinguishing make a difference, do you think? In a strange way, you kind of go and play anywhere?
Well, maybe teams come. I mean, if you look at Liverpool, for example, teams go to Anfield and play differently than what they would play Liverpool at home. And it's this moment in time, it's proving difficult for Liverpool at the moment, whereas maybe we haven't reached the heights yet where people respect us enough to alter the play when they come here. And you know, there's plenty of teams who'll go and sign shut-up shop at Sunderland and Portsmouth, but they won't sign shut-up shop here, and sometimes it's to the detriment.
Are your opponents no longer surprised by what you do? I know you've changed the system this season, but you've played everybody now, I think.
I haven't played Doncaster, I don't think.
Good from you. You've played nearly everybody now then?
Yes, correct.
Are they not surprised, but it's a case of trying to find a way to counteract what you do?
I think as the season progresses, people will be taking notice of our style of playing more. You can't get away from that. We're quite an open book where we play, really. There's no surprises. There's no master plan that's, you know, we've developed this season that's changed the way we play. Putting the ball in the net's the easiest way to put people on the back foot is put the ball in the net. And you see it time and time again where teams don't take the chances and get punished. More often than not this season, it's gone well for us. We've scored at right times. You know, even the other night, you know, we score a good goal, we go 1-0 up. We're cock-a-hoop for 3 minutes, they equalise. It's, you know, it's a mistake by us, but they equalise. And we could easily go into our shell there, and thankfully we score within 40 seconds. Which, you know, was a massive boost for us and a massive kick in the teeth to them. And then, you know, the game goes end to end and it's 4-1. But they're having lots of chances and it could be 4-3. And then I can't say literally because there's no door to shut, but we metaphorically slammed the door in the face by scoring after a minute of the second half. So, timing of goals can sometimes be just as important as goals themselves.
We talked the other night about having a strike partnership that's banging form. How do you keep that going? How do they keep that going?
Yeah, you've got to keep fanning the flames, haven't you? They'll tell them how great they are. Keegan and Toshak have named them now. Someone reminds me that I should be comparing them to Coleman and Bell. And maybe in our best goal days. But they're reminiscent to Keegan and Toshak. You know, good in the air, good on the floor, bundle of energy. Just got to try and keep it going. Keep the confidence up. Scoring goals is a big, big boost. It's like a drug, and you want more and more of it. And hopefully they'll show that they need it. And that's the big thing that we've been trying to bang the drum for our team this year. It's all like wanting things and liking things. I'm going to go really deep now into this hierarchy of needs. Maslow, is it? Yeah, Maslow. I'm going to go really high there with the hierarchy of needs. But if you need something, you tend to try and get it more than what if you'd like something or you want something. So that's the buzzword at the moment.
For the permanent record, better than Coleman and Bell?
Well, they're playing at a higher standard. We never scored in the league. As Dion reminded me, quite openly in his dressing room the other day when he was getting his hat-trick ball signed. And I didn't stoop to his level and say, well, the only trophy he's won is most improved player when he was 9. But
and Northampton, you won there earlier in the season. Are you expecting them to be different to what you encountered that day?
Yeah, you know, they've been a lot of changes in their personnel. You know, we beat Gillingham and we've seen a different Gillingham side here. So again, it's going to be a tough one. We know every game we play is going to be tough, and now I am going into bingo territory, and I'm not going to get my Spanish phrase out, even though I've learned it.